Kickstart this particular bulletin with the national dialogue. And of course, as the national dialogue entered its 26th day today, the National Police Oversight Authority, that is IPOA, called for changes in law governing the authority to grant them more powers to execute their mandate on matters of police brutality. Now appearing before the committee among other stakeholders to give their submissions, IPOA further advocated for the inclusion of 2000 gender role principle and the enrollment of female officers into the security personnel. Stanley Lugaria was at the Bomas of Kenya and compiled the following report.
We went to the streets.
Independent Policing Oversight Authority IPOA, during their submissions to NADCO on Wednesday, have recommended an increase of their powers to enable them to deal with the police brutality menace, as well as the inclusion of the Police Development Fund into the Consolidated Fund to help improve the uniformed men's living standards.
Government affirmative action fund can be enhanced and entrenched in the Constitution. It can probably fund the rollout and support the polycare centers within the police stations.
The authority had a difficult time expounding on the measures they have undertaken to curb the police brutality, following Opiyo and Dai's remarks of a difference in figure between Azimio and IPOA on the total number of deaths resulting from the recently witnessed demonstrations, with Azimio reporting a total of 73, contrary to the IPOA who reported 57 across the country.
Or confirm. But from your end, because you are financed by taxpayers to do exactly that, how many lives of Kenyans were lost from police brutality?
The data that we have on deaths is 57.
Not 73.
Not 73.
IPOA has emphasized on the implementation of the 2/3 gender rule agenda, reiterating on the inclusion of the number of the slots awarded to females during the police force recruitment process.
In terms of that gender rule, we note that Kenya has made tremendous progress in terms of gender equality. However, within the space that we operate, which is policing, women officers comprise 10%.
On the other hand, NCIC has pushed for the agenda on unemployment among the youth to be addressed, as well as solving land and boundaries disputes and delimitation, revealing that the committee should come up with lasting solutions to the problems arising from the elections, alluding the country is in a limbo as a result of miscalculated political moves, which have left the country in a mess through the selfish political leaders who put their interest first at the masses of peace and tranquility.
National Dialogue Committee, this particular committee, is a moment again for Kenya to be courageous enough and confront the past. But I want to say the reason why we've missed those opportunities is because when a moment comes for us to engage in reconciliation, it is only important if the politicians are unhappy.
Women represented by Maendeleo ya Wanawake have advocated for the separation of cost of living and politics, citing that the politicians have politicized the matter instead of solving the equation that the majority of Kenyans continue to grapple with.
We would appreciate a separation of matters to do with cost of living and politics, because cost of living is affected by other external factors, such as we had a prolonged drought.
As the national dialogues continue or enters its day 26 of the national dialogues at the Bomas of Kenya, now the big question arises: will the National Dialogue Committee approve all submissions made from the public, or will it relent to the idea that the reconstitution of the 2010 Constitution be undertaken or be delved to? Stanley Lugaria, Look Up TV, at the Bomas of Kenya, Nairobi.